Okay, little gap in the weather. We're on it. Thank you to Willow headbands, or whatever you want to call these. These are great. Okay, I had the beanie on, and the hair was just still working its way out. Really, it's just getting annoying, especially in the wind. The hair flickering. And very cool thing about this, I'm not sure if I should mention this or not, but I will. I'm sure they'll be grateful. But now other companies, I might spoil their uniqueness. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to say anything actually, and remind myself to send them a message, and then I'll come back and mention it if they're all right with that. But let's get on with it. I'm making this video purely for myself, but you're more than welcome to tune in. Working on the old boat, or any old boat, or working on a car, or just even working on yourself. Training. There's times when you just want something in the background to assist your source of motivation. I've learned over the seasons to avoid relying on external motivation and inspiration and support and encouragement and validation. All these things are great and they have their place. However, if the source of that is separate from you, what I've noticed for myself is just I repeat the habit that I seek to delete, or habits. So I just keep repeating patterns in life that just, all in all, it's not where I want to be. It's not who I want to be. It's not where I want to go. And I consider it in the relation of being a crutch. I'm constantly leaning on something, and if I take that away, because I've noticed the patterns, when I take all the YouTube videos away, what am I left with? My own thoughts again. So this video is for me, but like I said, you're more than welcome to tune in, because there's just so much fake hoo-ha out there because of the intention behind a lot of the content. Even though the content is highly beneficial and assists in elevating one's knowledge, the intention and the source behind it is actually quite weak. And this is my opinion. So this is a video for me to listen to whilst I'm working on Sitting Pelican. Well, I got a little gap. You may know that's silicon, right? Patching up some leaks from last night's rain. It's just how it is. And I'm in the mood to listen to something that's beneficial. So I thought, instead of wasting my time trying to find something or someone that's producing content that I deem valid and of a standard, I'm going to make my own. And it's not fancy. There's no AI. There's no background music. But I know one thing, that this is real, and you may or may not get any information. I came across a video that said I need to stop sharing my insights. And I pondered on that, and I saw and felt that there was a validation behind it. However, another part of me says, but what if it's actually a responsibility from the self when you learn something through your own trials and tribulations to share it? Okay, and here's what and this is the issue with AI, okay? Splitting out information, and this is where I must take on a responsibility with my own intellect to examine the information that appeals to me before taking it on as a brick in my foundation of belief. Okay. And that's a responsibility to myself. And that's why I've actually been a little quiet here with the videos. Hey, I just keep this to myself and practice what I'm learning first, and then let it be demonstrated through my actions. But really, this is the only social outward practice at the moment, is doing these videos, or let's say I'm interacting with a staff member in a shop. Okay, I'm not out there gallivanting around demonstrating to the world what I'm learning. So the theory is this, or my thinking is this, which you may or may not be in agreement with, and that's okay, because this is the part where I realize it's not my responsibility to be required to explain to you or to someone how I understand the insight. That's up to you, or up to me. There is, I feel, a responsibility and a duty that through my trials and tribulations, I come up with a realization, or I'm privileged, I'm privileged, I'm gifted a moment of understanding something. Through hindsight, the wisdom through the understanding of foolish choices, okay? Share that out into the world, and whoever comes across this content or this information or this insight, let them then take on the responsibility to embrace the insight and then understand it and apply it into their own world. Okay? If someone was perhaps to then put in a comment, oh, I noticed what you said, I really resonated with that, or I'm interested in diving deeper on that, can you explain this? Or then that's, to me, that's a call. And it's up to me to then make a decision. Do I answer that call? And I could say, hey, do you realize something? Because this is what I realized. It's not about being ready. Like, oh, you're not ready for this information, and all of the silly stuff that goes in behind getting people's attention. Okay, because it's, clickbait and trickery, which is a disservice if you're presenting information that is of a high value. Because if you're tricking people through a psychological, let's say, gambit, then it's unfair to that person, because they're not going to actually digest and take on what's being presented. But then again, like I said, a lot of this information is being given out through a weak source, a weak intention. They don't care. They do not care. All they care about is your interaction with the video. And if that was my position, then these videos I wouldn't do these videos, because then I'd go into analytics and go, oh, no one's watching this, and what's the point? So the point is this: one, it allows me to verbalize my thinking, my realization, my insights, and then by hearing and re-consuming it, my own audio of my thinking, I get a double down effect. I get a compound effect instead of hearing it from an outside source. Is any of this making sense to you? And this is why the power of the book, the writing, the drawing, the sketches, all of this is crucial to the development of my potential reality that awaits for me to experience, and waits for me to become the avatar or the character that then has the privilege to be witness and bearer of the experiences of the preferred reality. Pen and paper. Okay. So as I said, it's a willingness. What is your willingness in anything? The willingness to do something better for yourself. That's what I realized what it was for me. Thinking, oh, I'm just not ready for this and I'm not ready for that. Oh, hang on. Whether you're ready or not, my friend, what is it that you need to actually see anything through? It's the will. It's the will to do. It's the will to commit. It's the will to change. It's the will to evolve. It's the will. And the will is very much like a magical spell, a wand. Like, I will it so. I give power to its potential. I will. I will do this. I will become successful. Like, whatever that definition is in its highest resonance or frequency and vibration with my, you could say, preordained destiny. And you can see that's why anyone who was of a faith, of a good will, of a good nature, seem to have a good life, because they're constantly in the belief of everything unveiling accordingly. And it's almost like giving away a responsibility to someone else while still being responsible. And that's a bit of an oxymoron, maybe, or a juggling act on how can that even be a perceivable explanation. To say, I'm giving away the responsibility of all the good things in my life to another source, whilst also being responsible for being the source of all that is good to come to me. By being the source of the will. So, the part about maybe people aren't ready, I'm in disagreement with that. It's the will. As I've mentioned in my videos before, all of my undoings, failures and so on, which you can call just ignored lessons, was my unwillingness to put in the effort to take on the responsibilities that were required of the character that has the right to be gifted certain outcomes in his or her reality. Does that make sense? So if I'm here in this moment, in this reality, and I have these outcomes that really aren't the best, I'm overweight, my employment and my finances are not the best, and I'm always having issues, so on and so forth. And this is the character, right? And these are the outcomes that are gifted to this character that I'm possessing. So I'm behaving and acting in a certain way, and then, well, here's your gifts. Yeah, but I don't want these gifts. These are like, I don't want them. Like, I want this and I want that. Like, well, behave. Remember being told by your parents? Well, if you want that, you need to behave. And so if I flip this understanding over into where I am now as an adult male who's finding himself, okay, to be gifted the right to say, I am a man, right? I'm a product of the divine, of the cosmic, of the almighty creative source. I am a man because I take on the responsibilities and the efforts of a man. So you hear me? Most of us think we're men, but we're not. I wasn't. I thought I was, but I wasn't. I was actually just another lost adult male. Okay. I'm finding myself. Still an adult male, but I'm on the trajectory, okay, to become a man. So in that realm, in that character development are the gifts that a lot of us seek to have the better body, to have the better mind, the access to resources, better network, the ability to communicate in a more precise manner and be understood and be respected, because you must realize that to have those things, I realize now that those things must be emitted from me and communicated in a silence of being that character. So I come back, it's got nothing to do with, well, when I'm 40 or when I'm 50 or when I have this much money in the bank or when I get the boat, then I'll begin to behave in a certain way. Or then I'll be ready to behave. Right. It's got nothing to do with that. It's just willing. Am I willing to have a crack? Hands up, yes. All right, let's go. So it's another one of those things when I look around the boat, it gets tidy, there's mess. And it would almost look like nothing's getting done, but things are getting done. From the outside, it wouldn't look like that. But then that's up to me to take note and to go, hey, I'm getting things done. This is a process. This is part of the life. This is part of you could say my test, to test my will. So here we are. Onwards and upwards, fellas. 10 degrees up every day. Be good, be great, be brilliant. For you. Oi, oi. Thank you. All right. Get the tools. Remember, do what you can with what you have. Get at it. Do things for you. I said to you, young fella, if there's anything I could pass on to you, mate, do things that make your heart smile. Like feed the goodness in you, feed the greatness in you, and then let that permeate through your doing. And people that need to recognize that will recognize it. The people who don't, you needn't be concerned. There's that saying out that those who are always of concern need not matter, and those that matter will not be of concern, or won't be concerned. Something along those lines. I know I'm skewing it up, but there's a saying in there, okay? And it's true. It's true. I'm witnessing it in my own reality, that by behaving in a certain way and by emitting a certain thing, like what's his name, Sadhguru, yeah, that it is an inward thing. And it needn't be all wishy-washy. There is a cosmicness to it, by all means. There is a divineness to it. There is something galactic and higher ethereal or esoteric. These things, for me, render a very solid truth. It's just what I've witnessed, okay? You needn't take that on, only if you're willing. So remember that. Just remind yourself. I've got to will it. I've got to get on and get this thing like happening. Like, I'm responsible. Otherwise, I'll just always be in a state of complaining, and complaining is draining. And it's very true. Complaining is draining because it's a reminder. I wrote down once about this, that complaining is a reminder to the self of, once again, my unwillingness to take on the required actions to render the outcome to be of a greater benefit. Let's finish off on this one. I come back to health and the way I look in the mirror. I don't like the way I look. I don't like this, my oral and all my hair, and I don't like. Complaining. So I'm just reminding myself, in all of these complaints, the only reason you don't like these things is because of your unwillingness to take on the actions that alter it, that bring forward the beneficial outcome, meaning to become the character. So once again, if we look at the universe as like the grandparents, and instead of lollies, it's all these good things that you desire to have in your reality. And they're almost yelling, I want to give you so many good things, but I also, I want you to behave, but you don't need to behave because I have something to give you. You just need to realize that that's how it works. So when you're ready to behave and take on the actions that breed or harbor that good behavior, support that good behavior, now I can give you the reward. Imagine if that's how it is. If that's how it is. And it could be. Once again, whether you're ready or not, I don't think that's what it is. Like, this is my insight, and I'm sharing it. I just don't need to take on the energy, is what I wanted to get at too. There's an energy if you're trying to explain your realizations or your understandings or your higher level thinking to someone who's not willing, forget about being ready, who's not willing to embrace that, then you're just depleting yourself. So as the CrossFit says, bump it, punch it. That's it. Yeah, be good, be great, be brilliant. Remember, find what that is for you. Needn't be in. Because this is what it is. This is what I feel it is. Find it where it is a congruence with this. Like I said, the young fella. You know what's the most important thing, mate? Is you, and making your heart smile, and amplifying the music that exists in all of us. And for every one of us, it plays in a different way. Like the chords and scales are different. There's similarities, right? That's where you get harmonics, and that's where you get a synergistic with other people on the same wavelength, right? And then it's do what you can with what you have to lead you towards where you'd rather be. And as I'm realizing, it's responsibilities and efforts of a character that is in the perceived potential of where you'd rather be. Because another little tidbit, I'm adding them on here, aren't I? Okay, is the things of goodness and greatness that I see that I would like to have. There's no way I can have them as this character, as this let's say Neil, and that's why I Wake Maritime, Captain Kane. Captain Kane is the evolutionary projection of what I believe is the character that will be gifted all of this greatness. So I am required to become a different being, even though I'm in this physical state. But you notice my hair is growing. We trimmed the beard back. I don't know if I told you, because I leaned over the fire and burnt my beard, right, when I had my beard here. So we just got to start again, right? But there's these alterations, even the body, the physical composition alterations. That's altering my character, my speaking, the way I walk. Even got some really good soaps from an Australian company here, and I wonder if I can leave a link to them. I won't say them because I'd like for you to make some effort to go through the link, and yeah, I get a little bit off the top because that's part of the character as well. It's changing, it's changing your habits, it's changing your practices, your traits, your characteristic traits then become altered, and eventually it fuses itself into a way, into a being or lifestyle. But if we're trying to do this, and we're trying to get ourselves in a place to be ready, ain't gonna happen. A little bit of it might happen, but it won't last. And I'm not saying that as giving you advice or lecturing. I'm saying that from my own experience. And that's what I'm sharing with you, my own realization, that when I acted and behaved that way, it didn't last. And what I'm noticing is it's just a simple willingness to act upon let's say the wish or the desired outcome, and be willing to alter the self through that time travel, or the 10 degrees up every day. All right, I'm signing off now. Bump it, punch it, be good, be great, be brilliant, gentlemen. Learn to become the man that you want to become. Do what you can with what you have. Lead yourself to the outcomes that you seek to obtain, accomplish, and or acquire. Boom.